Oh man, I don't normally flip like the back screen up of my camera, but yeah, I'm still trying to get used to not having the beard going on here. What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. So today was supposed to be like a very super rainy day. You can see it's cloudy. It kind of looks like it wants to rain, but I don't think we're quite there yet. But I decided today, being that there's the chance of rain, we're gonna film more of an indoor video, and I feel like the warehouse is the perfect spot for that. And I feel like a good topic of today's video is not putting all these tires up there, which I've got something coming that we're gonna build to actually make that like cooler, fun, and easier. So that'll be in hopefully the next video after this. But I wanted to talk about I guess hygiene, I guess is one way we could call it. If you guys personally know me, you know that I am a giant germaphobe. It all happened when I was like 15 or 16 years old. I got violently sick. It took about 2 to 3 months for the reoccurring symptoms to go away. And at that point, it just completely changed my outlook on life and the way that I approached really any situation. Now, do I wish being a germaphobe on like anybody? No, trust me, it's a hassle, but it really becomes like second nature to you. And at this point in my life, like I wouldn't have it any other way because I feel like it does keep me healthy, cleaner, and safer than most people. And obviously with the way the world's going right now, now's a real good time. You want to be healthy and clean. And we could talk about all kinds of different things and ways and whatever to clean. But one thing I feel like a lot of people are leaving out is how to properly sanitize and disinfect a vehicle. And the reason this is different than anything else in your house is because there's a lot of surfaces and different materials in your vehicle that can get torn up from using the wrong types of products. So I wanted to walk you through today sanitizing an entire vehicle. But before we do that, I've been noticing a lot of videos going around of people showing like just how much stuff you touch and why you should wash your hands. They're using like paint and all kinds of stuff to show that when you touch something, it leaves paint, which they're using paint to kind of mimic germs, and then you retouch it and yada yada. And trust me, as a germaphobe, like I know it's gonna sound weird. Don't think too far into it, but I swear I could not exactly see germs, but I feel like I can see germs. Like I keep a mental log of everything that I touch and what's been touched and who's touched it, and if somebody said they were sick and what they touched, and like trust me, there's a lot going on up in here full time that I don't even want to freak you guys out with. But today we're going to be mimicking germs, and I don't know if this is the best idea. I didn't want to use paint on a vehicle because I feel like that's a really bad idea. So I've got us a stick of chalk here, and we're gonna make this chalk into a little bit of chalk dust. Put it in this bag, and then I guess we're just gonna, I don't know, look there. The rivet gun will work as a hammer for right now. Now I'm gonna chalk up my hands pretty good here, which again, chalk's gonna simulate everything that I've touched today, which is covered in nasty germs and all kinds of crap. All right, that's pretty suspicious. Looks like I've hung out at the gym. So really what I wanna simulate is what I would normally do getting in and out of my truck, going for a drive. So first things first, we're gonna grab the door handle there. And you'll notice I'm gonna try to break this habit, but I do everything with my pinkies. Reason being is, well, I am a germaphobe, so I don't ever touch anything other than with my pinkies, which I consider disposable. And I know you're not supposed to do this, but I gotta climb my way into the truck here. We can grab my steering wheel. All right, cool. So normally, you know, we'd go to start the truck up. Don't have the keys with me right now. We'll do a little radio adjusting there. Well, actually, hold on, let me pull my phone out. We're definitely gonna pick a song here, all right? Then we'll set my phone down right there. Cool, we gotta close the door. Probably roll a window down or two. Let's just roll the window down there. We definitely gotta put the seatbelt on. Normally, you know, you grab the little handle right there that clips in, but sometimes you can't reach that, so we'll grab up top. All right, we'll get our seatbelt put on right there. Cool. Oh, dude, we're gonna have to adjust a little bit of the AC. We'll turn that on. Change the heat settings. Oh, we better change the settings for that side too. We might have to actually probably turn on a little bit of the air-conditioned seats. I don't really like this song, so we better change it. We'll use the little buttons on the back of the steering wheel there. Can't forget, we gotta make a couple adjustments on our edge monitor. All right, no, the vent's in the wrong spot there. I wanna make sure I get enough air on my face. Don't forget, we gotta put the truck in gear. Oh no, my phone's dying. We gotta use my charger here. All right, now obviously that was for demonstration purposes, but you could see just how much stuff you touch in your vehicle with all the chalk residue on it. I mean, literally everything. Obviously, it's not gonna like poof out. I don't think germs work that way. I mean, you wouldn't expect to touch that much of the seatbelt when you're putting it on. I mean, even you can see on the side of the center console there. I mean, every little thing that you touch, you wanna open the center console, you're gonna be leaving germs everywhere. So what a lot of people don't understand when you're sanitizing something is you literally have to cover every single service unless you've got the greatest memory in the world of what you touch and what you haven't. It's very hard to remember. So I'm gonna go get some of my favorite supplies that I use to disinfect and clean my truck. But before we do, let's talk about one very important thing here, and that is your phone. A lot of people like me regularly will sanitize their phone, which great. I feel like people should do this all the time. Now what they'll do is they'll take their phone out of their dirty pocket, right? Because the phone was dirty when it was in their pocket. Pull it out, sanitize it, sanitize it. All right, great, cool. Let's put it back in that same dirty pocket. You just undid everything you just did. Basically, that pocket is full of germs that you just now covered in more germs. So let's get all this chalk off my hands. And again, don't be the guy in the bathroom that just dropped the deuce, wiped your butt, touch the faucet handle to turn it on, wash your hands, then retouch it to turn it back off. Like, you literally just undid everything. All right, so we've got some normal household cleaning supplies here. Obviously some Lysol wipes, some Lysol spray, and then my personal favorite are these little alcohol prep pads. Now there's many ways to go about what we're about to do today, but I'm gonna do it on basically what most people have in their cupboards or in their bathroom or whatever it may be. One thing you want to really avoid on any part of your vehicle is anything that has bleach. Now, if your vehicle is actually like dirty, where there's not just germs that we're talking about are pretend germs here, but there's actually like mud, dirt, sand, whatever it may be, I would opt to clean it first. Use like some type of spray detailer or even soap and water, which soap and water is surprisingly a huge beneficial tool in terms of disinfecting a vehicle. I know it sounds crazy, but for our purposes, obviously we don't need any heavy dirt removal. Now here's a very important thing, because if you don't follow this rule, you're going to completely undo everything you just did. Your hands and everything should be sterile. Obviously, if you're rubbing Lysol or some alcohol over your hands, you're pretty much cleaning up, but start with clean hands, finish with clean hands. Don't start in the middle, grab your dirty phone while you're cleaning your vehicle, then go back, because essentially you're putting germs back on places you just took them off. So since we're going for some heavy germ removal, I've grabbed one of the Lysol wipes, and we're going to touch essentially every surface, and hopefully this chalk doesn't get weird when it gets liquefied. But one of the things with a lot of cleaners is you want to leave things a little bit damp and let it sit and air dry. Lysol is important. You want to make sure you get all your buttons, get up underneath the buttons, because most of these buttons nowadays are a lift up, which means your finger's going up underneath. Try and kind of saturate these buttons. Everything's meant to get a little bit wet on a vehicle door, being that if you got to open your door in the rain, obviously all this gets soaked. So you're okay with getting everything a little bit wet. Now on your leather, or well, fake leather, synthetic leather, vinyl, whatever it may be, vehicle manufacturers use like a urethane coating on top of whatever material it is. It kind of seals the fake leather or the vinyl or whatever. You have to be a little bit careful in the materials that you use to clean them, but keep in mind, kind of like your couch in your living room, like I'm assuming it's a similar urethane coating to where it can take pretty heavy abuse of most household cleaners. I wouldn't use, again, bleach on it or anything like that. And if you're going to use something super drying like alcohol, rubbing alcohol or the types, come back in at some point with a leather conditioner and make sure you put some of that moisture back into the material itself. So again, I like to go through, hit every surface, get the front of it, get the back of it, get obviously every single button, but it really doesn't hurt to just cover everywhere that you may or may not have touched. We'll get all the little vent buttons. We're gonna get the vents of the air conditioner. And yes, it can be very tedious, but there's really no point in doing it unless you actually spend the time to get every single little inch, because you're gonna come back in your vehicle. Let's say you haven't cleaned your four-wheel drive knob. You gotta throw it in four-wheel drive. You throw it in four-wheel drive, grab all the germs off of there, and then you go back and start spreading it all around your vehicle, and you have to start over. Now for fabrics and materials like this, obviously your seatbelt's a little bit different than if you were to have cloth seats, but one of the things for cloth seats that you can do, being that they are so absorbent, is a light, mild soap and water mixture, and rub it in. You don't want to make it super foamy, and you don't want to soak too much into it because your vehicle will start to smell like mildew. If you've got some type of shampooing machine, even like your home carpet cleaner, for like the ones they use to clean up messes that dogs leave in your house or something like that, that's a really good way of extracting all the water. But soap and water is really good in disinfecting, as it breaks down the membrane around a virus. I know, there's a lot of stuff to learn. And it's crazy when you start actually going through your vehicle, just seeing how many different spots there are that you can and will touch. And this is only from the driver's perspective. Now imagine having somebody in every single seat, just how many surfaces you would have to clean. Now I'm gonna take my time here and really get everything that not only I touched, but all the surrounding spots, because again, just because we don't see it right now with the chalk doesn't mean it hasn't been previously touched. Make sure you do not forget accessories in your vehicle. Phone chargers, any other types of devices. You know, if you've got a vehicle with a CD player, your CD collection that you may browse through from time to time. I feel like this chalk is a very good representation of probably the dirtiest part of your vehicle, and that is obviously the steering wheel. It's what you touch the most. It's what you're constantly in contact. It's dependent on the vehicle, what you use to get in and out of the vehicle. It's just something that is always touched. We're gonna go through, make sure we get every inch of the steering wheel. Steering wheel especially is one of those things that you just touch in so many different places. Get all the little buttons, of course, and depending on your vehicle, if you have buttons on the back side of the steering wheel, make sure you give those a real good clean, or even paddle shifters, whatever it may be. And again, keep in mind, it is important to let things stay wet. I know on the Lysol wipes, they say to let things stay wet for at least 4 minutes. That way it has time to actually break down the bacteria and the viruses that are on the surface. And don't think you can get like a million miles out of one Lysol wipe. You know, they don't last forever. Use it for a little bit, grab another one. I know they're in short supply right now, so we probably shouldn't say that right now, but in the everyday world, when life's hopefully back to normal, or if you want to go crazy, a spray definitely does work. It's a little bit messier, but it will fog coat a lot more surfaces, and you don't have to worry about like wiping everything right off the bat. Just let that sit on the surface. If it were me, I would only do that on the harder plastic surfaces. I don't really like to coat things in liquid Lysol like that. Now, Lysol wipes are actually safe to use on electronics as per their little back portion right there, if it'll focus. Safe to use on electronics. And the reason that's noted is because a lot of electronics have an anti-glare coating on them. So I mean, I know you see a little bit of reflection there, but this is kind of a matte screen, and certain chemicals will actually start to remove that coating. Now, one of my favorite things to use on electronics, and especially my phone, are these little alcohol prep pads. These are 70% propyl alcohol, and 60 to about 90% is the range that you want to be, which sounds weird to you because you would think like 100% alcohol, that's got to kill the most germs and viruses, but actually you want more water mixed in there. And so the reason you don't want to use 100% alcohol is water actually speeds up the denaturing process of proteins, which causes membrane damage on the bacteria, the virus, whatever it may be. So you want a little bit of that water in there. Now, obviously wiping your whole truck down with one of these is not very easy. I've done it, but it's not very easy. But these are good in just normal everyday circumstances in terms of wiping down. And they're really good for everyday kind of maintenance cleaning. Of course, we'll make sure we hit my phone here. Now keep in mind, if you clean your phone, right? My phone was just sitting on this surface right here. If I clean my phone, flip it over, clean more of my phone, and make sure you get every surface, corner. But I set my phone back down on a dirty surface, like that kind of, again, defeats the point. One of the best ways to make sure you've got the best chance at completely disinfecting something is kind of work backwards. Work your way out, start very clean, start cleaning things as you're working your way out of the vehicle, changing any type of wipe or rag or alcohol pad or whatever it may be on your way out. Cool, now keep in mind, it's almost impossible to 100% sanitize basically anything unless you're in like a clean room environment. I mean, even hospitals ain't that clean. And a lot of my friends always tell me, being that I'm a giant germaphobe, like, yo bro, what are you worried about? Like, you're gonna get it from here, you're gonna get it from here. But one of my big core reasons I take the precautions that I take is if I can reduce getting something by 50 to 75% or even greater by doing what I'm doing, then I think my odds are pretty good. Now, again, I understand there's no 100% guaranteed. You're not going to get germs or sick or a virus or whatever it may be, but the better odds I give myself, I'm kind of on board with taking that. Now, one thing I carry in all my vehicles is hand sanitizer, but keep in mind, that bottle gets dirty too. I know all of you guys have seen my emergency cleaning procedures when I've been somewhere where somebody may have been sick that was driving my truck or something like that. I have been known to pump a whole bunch of hand sanitizer in my hand and just coat my steering wheel in it. It freaked a lot of people out. It was like, oh my God, you're gonna ruin your steering wheel. What are you doing? Well, I can safely say I've done it in all my trucks, this one included, and looks like my steering wheel, aside from a couple little pieces of lint there, is in absolute perfect condition. Sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. Now, in these trucks, there's a couple spots that are gonna be a little tough to clean, one being the material that is on your visor there. For this type of material, I typically would allow some Lysol to kind of sit and soak in. Now, every material that you're gonna touch in your vehicle, you're gonna wanna do a little test. I know every type of cleaning supply says that, but it really is true. You don't wanna just gung-ho go for something and then you find out later that it like completely stripped the urethane coating off of your seats, or it completely stained your entire headliner. Now keep in mind, you're not going to be able to get every surface. I don't think anybody expects to be able to sanitize every inch of the vehicle's carpet up underneath the seats or anything like that, and that's not really important. What's important is all the surfaces that you touch. The main reason you're going to get sick or contract a virus or anything like that is you're going to be touching other surfaces. Touch your face, put your fingers in your mouth, rub your eye. Rub your eye is a huge one. Or you're going to be sitting there at the drive-thru at McDonald's, hand on the steering wheel, decide you can't wait to get home to wash your hands. You need to get some of those fries. Dig your hand that was just touching the steering wheel into the bag of fries, grab said fries, put them in your mouth. Well, now you've just pretty much contaminated yourself. One thing that's important is don't stop with the inside of the vehicle. Obviously, the door handle is probably one of the grossest parts of a vehicle. Make sure you clean that bad boy on every single axis that you can. Make sure you come in and clean your gas door. Get where your fingers go, especially considering we know most people take the gas pump handle, put it back, you're touching the touchscreen on the gas pump, and then you go back and re-screw on your gas cap there. Make sure you don't forget your tailgate. Notice I grabbed the tailgate in this portion to actually close it. Well, that means there's gonna be a lot of germs on the tailgate there. Of course, the handle is a big given that needs to be cleaned. And just daily routine things. I mean, I don't touch my bolt locks too often to pull my trailer hitch off or anything like that, but there's a good chance they're filthy and covered in germs. And really, that's all there is to it. And like I said earlier, be sure you're real conscious of what types of chemicals you're using on your vehicle so you don't destroy any of the surfaces, but just being methodic. Don't re-dirty something right after you cleaned it. Make sure you got clean hands. And trust me, that's how everything over at World Headquarters has been going. I mean, every doorknob, every handle has been sanitized in a very similar way. And since we're over here, I figured I'd show you guys this package from Boost Auto. You may or may not know, Boost Auto Parts makes aftermarket factory style mirrors. So if you don't want to spend the $1,200 or whatever it is for the factory tow mirrors, Boost makes absolutely amazing products. They are the mirrors that I have on my OBS. So those GM tow mirrors right there were from Boost Auto, as well as the replacement mirrors that are going on the LOY build that is up at California Auto Works right now getting painted. We can get multiple styles of caps from Boost. So the caps on my GMC here are actually the factory chrome caps that have to be prepped for paint, which, as you guys know, like trying to get paint to stick to that factory cheap chrome, not the easiest thing to do. So thankfully, Boost Auto sent some paintable caps to go with the mirrors that are up at California Auto Works. We've got upper, lower caps, obviously driver's side, passenger side. We got a nice koozie, nice Boost Auto Parts decal there. So if I were you guys and I was ordering up mirrors from Boost Auto and you want them color matched, obviously opt for the paintable option. The reason I had them send them with the chrome caps is because I figured I was gonna install them on the LOY way before I ever was actually gonna take the thing to get painted. But just the way the timeline worked out, it actually worked out better to where I never got the mirrors installed. So they're actually gonna get installed at the body shop while everything's getting painted, which means I do need to mail these up to the body shop. So I'm gonna make sure I do that today. Now I will say, guys, I'm definitely ready for all this crap to be over. It's been getting pretty lonely over here at World Headquarters 2.0. Being that it's just me hanging out here by myself every day. It's just me cranking out all the work for it orders by myself every day. Can't wait to get the employees back in here. Can't wait to get my friends back in here and like live it up like we dreamed of having this place. And speaking of work for it orders, I gotta get back to those. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now. That we do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, get a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.